Alrighty, folks. Welcome. Waiting for things to settle. And of course, waiting for the chat, which I probably have to close and reopen. Always seems every time. There's my, of course, my level of 171. Anyway, folks, welcome to back to Fallout 4. Now, this is the Vaul Tec HQ, as we are going to explore it in detail. There's going to be a lot of ghouls, and we'll just kind of walk through there. We're going to, as you can see, the cache of Vault Tec suits for another one. The CC is the one that basically allows you to customize your Vault suits. It's down there. We can take the elevator, but I prefer to do things the long way. If we go over here, we might be able to actually get the ghouls to wake up. As you have noticed, I have picked up a Ripper. This is actually a Fallout 3 Ripper, because I am using a mod to give me some more melee weapons, because the selection I had was quite limited. Though I still want to go back to like finding a good boxing glove, so we get those nice classic martial arts animations going again. But for now, with all of my bonuses, my melee damage is quite insane. And that means that the Ripper, and this isn't even, my friend wants to play the Fallout 4 explosive. So an explosive minigun, that is actually quite a powerful gun. Because again, as we explored with just my explosive handmade pipe pistol, explosive is very powerful. Because what explosive does is it deals 15 damage in an area around each shot. So you don't really have to be accurate. So add in a high fire rate like a minigun or any automatic pistol. Yeah. Explosive. Kind of crazy. Oh, but trust me. At some point, we're going to pop over to Far Harbor, and I'm going to show you where you can get the staggering Ripper. And that thing is a beast, because this is an automatic weapon. Either this or the Fallout 4 version. Just click and hold, and you fire. And every time it hits, that is a chance to stagger. You can perma-stagger enemies with a staggering Ripper. Alternatively, there's the Kneecapper Ripper, which is a great alternative if you manage to get that from a legendary drop, because that just means as long as you are doing this, their legs are gone. You also do crippling. I'm not sure you can actually get an explosive Ripper, so we can probably play around with it using console commands. Well, what I might do for one of the future streams is just console in a bunch of Rippers, then add a bunch of legendary effects. We can play around with the Ripper and various legendary effects. Because yeah, if you want to deal with a legendary weapon, you can't go wrong with a Ripper because it just hits so often. So that means your legendary effect will proc frequently. And yeah, just post in the chat what type of legendary effects you'd like to see me test on a Ripper, and we'll have some fun in a future video. As I just console in and add various legendary effects. I should get the flashlight mod. Or a flashlight mod, I should be more exact. The thing is, the game has some really nice ambient lighting, as you can see. If I throw on the Pip-Boy light, it just kind of washes everything out with this sort of area of effect light. I would like to have some better light to be able to see things directly in front of me, but I don't need to wash out all the light, so I have to play around with some flashlight or lighting mods. You really kind of just lose some of the atmosphere when you flood everything out with light. Though, you know, we could do, we could play around with the lighting by going to display. And is it HUD color or Pip-Boy color? I believe it's Pip-Boy color. Oh, that's for some lighting. That I probably can port to the PlayStation because all it's really going to be doing is allowing you to take burned books and turn them into, you know, like more useful books. So that one I probably can port to PlayStation. See, the thing with PlayStation modding that you have to keep in mind is that with PlayStation mods, the big restriction is no mod is allowed to have external assets. That means no voice files, no script files, no art assets, anything of that sort. But if you're manipulating stuff that already exists in the game, you're fine. Now, depending on how I'm able to get it to work, to randomly choose what you're going to restore pre-war books from, that may require a script. It may not. It may be able to be done with a vanilla script, in which case it'd be fine. Like I said, I'm still looking into how the heck I'm going to pull that off, so it's not something that you control. It has to be completely a randomized thing. But if I can just have it pull from a file list, which is an internal data function, then we're fine. Whenever an enemy spawns in, their weapons are chosen from what is called a file list. And this basically says, alright, at this level range, these weapons are available. So file lists are just data. And if I can just say, put into a file list a bunch of type of books, the game's like, okay, we'll pull something from that. We're fine. If not, then we get a problem. Then I have to start working with scripting. Alright, I've already explored everything here. Vault Tec HQ, in any Vault Tec game, is always a fun place to explore because, well, it's Vault Tec. And we all know how wonderful Vault Tec is, don't we? Let's go up this way. Like, for example, in Fallout 3, if you went to Vault Tec HQ, you could find a list of all the vaults in the area, with the exception of one vault, because it's, you know, kind of important for the main quest. So they exclude that vault, and there's kind of an in-universe explanation on why that vault might not be in their list. There's a guy who runs it's kind of a Vault Tec bigwig. Ah, yes. That's the main reason we're here, is to get the cache of Vault Suits, and mainly just get it off of my quest list. But also just to talk about Vault Tec in general. As you know, Vault Tec, kind of a big part of the Fallout mythos. That, and the supernatural. There is a lot of supernatural chicanery going on in the Fallout universe. Or rather what I should say, because I know there are some Fallout purists out there who say that only the Obsidian gains matter, and they didn't... When Bethesda took over the Fallout franchise, they are clearly running their game with the Wild Wasteland permanently enabled. Because there was some really weird stuff you could do with like Fallout 2 and like weird encounters you could run into, but you needed to have the Wild Wasteland perk or trait. And that's the same thing with Fallout New Vegas. The really weird stuff happens only with the Wild Wasteland trait, and that's things like ghosts, UFOs, and stuff like that. Yeah, clearly Bethesda decided that the Wild Wasteland trait is on all the time, because in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, those stuffs are just the norm. You don't need to enable a special trait for them. Hell, they made an entire DLC around aliens, and they made another DLC around basically Lovecraft. So yeah, clearly Bethesda plays with the Wild Wasteland perk always enabled. I'm all for it. Makes the game a little bit more interesting when you got all this supernatural crap going on. Yeah, lighting's okay. Oh, this is a fun little area. People love to rag on Bethesda physics, but look at this! Look at this madness of physics. Also, fun fact. Yes. For some reason, despite every other weird thing the developers may have done, yes, the the balls are actually scaled properly that they would actually fit in the holes of the billiards. It's such a weird little thing that one of the devs was like, let's just make sure that the billiard balls are the right size for the billiard table. And actually, you can play straight up billiards. If there are some places where the billiards table is standing upright and intact, and you can actually stick them inside of the triangle rack, and you can use physics to pick up the billiard pool, and yeah, you can play physics janky billiards in Fallout. It is 100% possible. In fact, the entire physics janky gameplay, however you want to imagine that phrase going, it's something that they took literally into account when they made Nuka World. Because in one of the early videos when they're talking about Nuka World, they said, well, Raiders don't care about cheating. They cheat all the time. So all the games in Nuka-Cade, in Nuka World, yeah, you could just straight up cheat at them and get the rewards, the high-end rewards for them. And that is perfectly legitimate strategy. In fact, the devs kind of expect you to do it. So yeah, I could take my fully automatic explosive pipe pistol to the shooting range in Nuka World and get all the targets and make a ton of Nuka-Cade points. And that is literally something the devs are like, yeah, do it. So they were probably thinking of like the Tommy gun.
Sweet.
I'm about to level up again, as we can see. Ah, the Vaul Tec cross-promotional item. This is actually from a mod. This is actually not in the base game itself.
Hell yeah.
Frank David's personal logs. So let's see what the people at Vault Tec are going to say. I believe Dr. Reed is under the impression that the vaults in the Boston area will be used to harm its future residents instead of help them. I told him he's just being paranoid. Vaul Tec would never do anything of the sort. 10:13. Karen spilled coffee on my new shirt while we were in the lounge this morning. I told her it was fine and we had a good laugh about the whole thing. If she does it again, I'll stab her in the fucking throat with my pen. She's a good kid. Dr. Reed is beginning to get on my nerves. All he talks about now is his theories of how the vaults were built to run experiments on people and not actually help them at all. I keep telling him that he couldn't be more wrong. If he keeps this up, I might have to discipline him. And yes, this is totally how I believe the Vault Tec executives talk. Completely psychotic and deranged ideas with just completely like comical indifference. No, that's crazy talk. We're not doing experiments on people. It's all for the betterment of mankind. That's crazy talk. You're crazy. Yeah, nothing else really to look at here, is there? One of the balls rolled down here. You know, I keep talking about how there's a bunch of places you can get to with jetpacks, and how I should get a jetpack and just show it to you. But at the same token, I really don't want to run around with the jetpack mod. So what I might do is there's a mod called Power Armor Deployment, something like that. It's a mod that allows you to summon your power armor to you. You put a module in it, and then you can summon it to you. What I do is might get that mod, make a suit of power armor that's fully decked out with like a jetpack and everything, and just summon that to me when I want to show you stuff that we can do with a jetpack instead of using like the jetpack mod. And I don't know. What do you guys want? Do you want to see me summon power armor to me when I need to do stuff with a jetpack and stuff in power armor, or just have a jetpack for my civilian gear? Fallout 5, yeah. Where you want to set up Fallout 5? I mean, anyone who's followed me on social media will know I recently posted a picture from the Canadian wildfires of what it looks like here in New Jersey with a nice orange filter over the world. And trust me, that was not pleasant to live through. So, I'm just going to say Fallout New Jersey. Maybe they'll cover one of the towns I lived in. The mutated fauna state. Dr. Reed's terminal. Now, Dr. Reed, if you remember correctly, was the one the other guy was complaining about being a little too upset about the experiments. So let's see what Dr. Reed has to say. 9:29. So we just shipped 15 cases of Psycho and Jet to Vault 95. Of course, that makes total sense. Let's give these addicts more of what put them in this situation to begin with. They've decided to force them to make the hard choice. Chems or getting clean. I say this is going to cause a bloodbath. And of course, as I have mentioned previously, Jet is a pre-war drug. Now, people will like to quote back to Fallout 2, where a guy said he created jet with Brahmin farts, but, and I need to remind people of this, if you actually follow that discussion tree and challenge him with a speech check, he says, yeah, actually, I just recreated it. He just straight up tells you that he didn't create it. He just found a way to recreate it with the stuff that's available in the radioactive wasteland. Secondly, I like to remind people that before they were called chems, they were just called drugs. And they had different names because there are clear real-world analogs. And I think we only had 2 or 3 names confirmed of what their names were before they gave them all their fantasy names. But their names were pretty obvious. Morphine, speed, and steroids. And those, of course, became Med-X, Jet, Buff-Out. So, yes, say what you want about whatever you want about the game, but I find it incredibly hard to believe that they got to the year 2773 and never invented speed, never invented certain methamphetamines. Oh yeah, sure. We've created anabolic steroids. We've created morphine. We've created, all these other drugs that have real-world analogs. But yeah, we never created speed. Just never happened. It's the same reason I made my more drugs mod. So XL, that might be a game-only one, but remember what XL does. XL gives you, is it +1 or +2 to all specials? So that's basically a booster drug. Just think about what XL does. It makes you stronger, faster, smarter, more perceptive, more agile, what's the word I'm looking for? Hardier, endurance, and luckier, which, you can't really qualify in the real world. But yeah, it's literally just a booster drug. Walter in the warehouse just told me we received a massive shipment marked Vault 111, do not open. So he opened it, and it was hundreds of gallons of liquid nitrogen. What could they possibly need this for? $10.22. That's it. I can't work under a manager who's so oblivious to what's going on around him. These vaults are supposed to be a safe haven for these people, not a lab to run experiments on there. Davis still doesn't see it, or he's just ignoring it. Either way, I'm putting in my 2 weeks this morning. 10:22. Yeah, you might not make it 2 weeks, and not because they killed you at Vaul Tec. So they totally will kill you at Vaul Tec. Mainly because the world ends in less than 2 weeks. I do like Dr. Reed. He wanted the vaults to help people. Too bad Vaul Tec wanted to run experiments on people.
We have a situation.
I really should hit VAST to see what level these guys are spawning at. Because, believe it or not, just like you have no level scaling, there are certain zones in the game where there are level caps, and there are certain zones in the games where there are no level caps. And on one of my first characters, I got to level 240, and I was fighting level 240 super mutants in some places. In other places, I'd fight at most a level 10 super mutant, which is why one of the first mods I created was No Escape, which basically removed level limits everywhere, and everybody leveled with you. Also, they could follow you through doors. It might be a bit outdated at this point, but it's still up on the Nexus. I'll have to go back and tweak it again one of these days. But, yeah. If you think the game's getting too easy, install No Escape. Because all it does is alter encounter zone, so it should still be compatible all these years later. down, and is that it? Nothing else on this floor worth looking at? Eh, not really. Man, go up higher again. Of course, we know all the fun stuff's downstairs. Well, let's go upstairs. Yeah, as I thought. Just brought it back up here. Alright. Welcome to the floor.
Basement.
Oh no, the basement. I'll tell you one thing. If you ever install the mod that makes dynamic boxes, you know, just for more loot and whatnot, this place is a gold mine because every single one of these metal boxes becomes a container filled with randomized loot. Yes, I do mean every single one of them. Talk about dropping a bomb.
Yes.
I think Mr. Davis has been getting annoyed with Martin lately. I told Martin he should probably back off of it because I know Mr. Davidson has a temper. I saw him break a pool cube over Roger's head because he stood too close to the table when Mr. Davidson was taking a shot. Roger still has trouble with hearing in his right ear. I miss Sharon. She's been out a couple of days, and it's just not the same without her. No one upstairs has heard from her. I'm starting to worry. You can see her face when I go upstairs for lunch. It's the highlight of my day. Oof. Oof. Well, I think we know what happened to Sharon.
Nice.
I mean, I think we know what happened to Sharon. Need I remind you? Davidson put into his terminal that if she spilled coffee on him one more time, he'd stab out her eyes with a pen. Good girl, though. Good girl. Bethesda's environmental storytelling is always so fun. Which is why I like doing these walkthroughs of these areas. That was a loading screen and a half. There's the Boston Bugle. There is Goodneighbor. Hubris Comics. Horsepower Armor. Alright, how do we want to go? Do we want to start going south or going north? We can go either to the Boston Bugle or check out the new Cafe Ola Diner and Hubris Comics. Now, which one? Yes, pint-sized problem starts at the Boston Bugle. Why don't we start at the Boston Bugle then? Ooh, there's a graveyard this way. Yep, level 10. Oh, that was different. You know, there actually is a mod that allows you to repair, upgrade, and drive a motorcycle. If you want to see vehicles, I could install that mod. It even has a nice sidecar that Dogme can sit in.
Ambush. Ambush. Defensive protocols engaged.
Well, I wasn't planning mass fusion, but while we're here in mass fusion, I've mentioned this before. Shall I show you the infamous leg armor that gives you immunity to fall damage? It is a bitch to find and get to, but it is doable. So
You could hold this place against an army.
you absolutely 100% need a jetpack. I am not kidding. So we'll do a more deep dive of mass fusion at a later date. Right now, we're only here for 2 reasons. Well, 3. Nuka-Cola.
Perimeter movement detected. Possible stealth.
Have a visual on them.
Re-engaging.
Yeah. Nice.
Let's get this over with.
Got it.
What a mess.
Was one other thing. Nah, we won't read the terminals right now. We'll save it for another time. Right now, we're just grabbing any of the key loot. I can't recall off the top of my head if we do in fact have a skill magazine here as well.
Bingo.
Sensor alert. Anomaly detected.
I knew it. I hope there's a bounce. Hold up.
Well, I mean, good job, guys.
That's it.
I'll read that another time. Not our priority. Oh, almost forgot about the duffel bag. No, we're actually trying to find a way to get higher. Yes, this will do. This do. This might do. Looks promising. Yes, I believe we're here. Yes, you see it? That is a strength bobblehead. And,
Are you okay, boy?
gonna be a bit of a pain to get to. Also, there's this guy.
You are seriously fucked, you know that?
Where'd he go?
I think I got something over here.
Oh, he's down there. That's annoying. Well, the boys can take care of him.
Come on, asshole.
So there you go. Strength bobblehead. See that? Right? Now let's take a look at our specials. We've talked about this before. Now you can see here, my specials are all maxed at 10, right? Straight down the board. I've got various modifiers that have increased them, but they're base stat 10. You can't raise your base stat, right?
Excellent.
Base of 11 now, and we could do that with every bobblehead. So that gets us a base of 11. So, well, at one point I'll swing back by Concord. I might do it on stream. I might do it off. We all know where the Perception bobblehead is. I'll grab that. And a stream in the near future, I'll just do a bobblehead run. And you can see all those jump up to 11. Then I'll show you the trick to get one more up to 12. Trying to figure out which one I really want to go up to 12, because honestly, my intelligence is going to be somewhere around 30 when we're done doing that run. Base 30. What do I want to have at 12? What would I benefit from having the most at 12? Because strength will give me more carry weight, perception, it makes me better and fast, endurance gives me more hit points. So maybe for this particular character, the logical thing would be an endurance of 12. Because that's more hit points. That means I heal more per tick on my various healing powers. Now, here's where things get tricky. See that hole in the ceiling? We need to make ourselves go even higher. Now, at this point, you can kind of just cheese it. If you have a jetpack, you kind of just jetpack up and do it that way. Try and make yourself even higher. But I do not have a jetpack, now do I? So I'm going to have to use console commands. Also, to demonstrate the point of what we're about to pick up, I'm going to jump off the balcony
Got it.
with my adamantium skeleton rank 3 legs. Will this hurt? Most definitely. Will this kill me? 90% sure it will. This is gonna hurt a lot. Geronimo! I actually survived that. I could act no, because no one's actually wearing power armor that I can take. Are they? Alright, so toggle collision off. So you can see you can eventually make your way over to here, make your way over to here, keep making your way up. Then you've got to get even higher. And it's doable. As you can see, this door is just expert locked. And the goal is to keep rocket packing yourself up and up and up as high as you can. And I'm just cheesing it for demonstration purposes. Where are you? There it is. See this little hole in the wall? That is your first step. Basically to give you breathing room to jetpack up even further. And I'm trying to find the right key to see the room. There it is. You get in here. And it is doable, like I said, it just takes a lot of jetpacking. And using little sections to regenerate, but then you get up here, and they want you to get up here because they're playing the dramatic music, right? So what is our reward for finding our way up here legitimately instead of cheating like I did? At some point in the future, I'll grab some power armor with a jetpack, and it'll take us up here legitimately. It is doable, like I said. But let us take a look at the intern's terminal. So excited to be working at Mass Fusion. The other interns seem cool. Dan, the postdoc in nuclear physics, I'm sure he'll get to work on the reactor. Alyssa's a specialist in electrical engineering, energy capture. Kind of makes material science sound lame, but at least we're getting along the way. This sucks. The north elevator was down for maintenance again today, and the south elevator prioritizes the lower floors. It took over an hour just to get out of the building tonight. I would have walked down, but there aren't any emergency stairs on this level. I can't believe they didn't put in stairs! Isn't that a code violation? What if both elevators fail? Sure. Redundant systems, but it could happen. How would we get down? Idea. How about boots that could absorb the impact of a fall? It's like power armor. Power armor has integrated hydraulic shock absorption systems, but that's too bulky to be usable without the frame to provide support. But if you could replace the hydraulics with a kinetic repulsion system, then the principles would apply. Could be worth a try. They work. I need some way to show them off. I heard the holiday party is up on the roof this year. That's my chance. Have a few drinks, and then just, whoops, fall off the building. Can't wait to see the look on their faces. I'll get the job for sure. Until then, keep them locked in my safe. Better if this is a surprise. The key. I forgot the key. It's been 3 days now, I think. It's hard to tell. I only stopped in for a few minutes. I was just going to pick up some papers, and then I heard the bombs. It sounded like the whole tower was coming apart. Nearly did. The hall outside is a wreck. I can't even get the door open. The boots are in the safe, but I can't get them out. I drank the last of Nuka last night. All I can do now is wait. Jack Rutherford. There he is. There's Jack. Created some type of special boots. But he forgot the key. And apparently, he is so incompetent he can't crack a novice lock. Remember, you can crack a novice lock even without any investments in the pickpocketry. So they really want you to get this.
Sweet.
And there they are. Free fall. Armor right and left legs. I like Fallout 76. I tell people it's a good game all the time, and the community is amazing. The free fall legs. Now, free fall is a custom variation on an existing legendary. It's the acrobatic legendary. And what acrobatic does is it reduces fall damage by half. Free fall negates it. But there's a catch. In order for free fall to work, you have to be wearing both free fall sets, not just one of them. You need to wear them both. While with acrobatic, you don't actually need to have a paired set. You can just have one. So, shall we do some experimentation? I need some armor. I need a leather left leg, will do. And we'll do a leather right leg. Help. AC, arrow, bat, 4. mod, acrobat. So we select the leather right leg, and we're going to do attach mod. Let me see. Attach mod. One F, 1D, F9. And we'll now see acrobat. Do it again. Acrobat, right?
There we go. Yes.
So now, now the fun part. I'm just wearing my normal armor. I'm not wearing acrobats, and I'm not wearing free fall. Now, just one acrobat. Same at test. And of course, you just saw not that long ago me jumping off, what, 3 stories and just taking half a health point, or half my health and damage. So I can survive pretty damn falls with, you know, adamantium skeleton and all that. Now, both acrobats. Leather left leg, leather right leg. Twin acrobats, right? Pretty impressive. We're not done yet. So that's what you can do with 2 pairs of acrobat gear. Now, let's look at free fall, shall we? Again, we're just going to go 1 free fall. Just 1. And now, paired free fall. That's what free fall does. Now, yes, you need paired free fall to get the full effects, otherwise you die. But the same thing with acrobats. If we saw just 1 acrobat, I died anyway. So paired free fall is the equivalent of having paired acrobat, right? But keep in mind, I can get the free fall anytime I want, just to come here to mass fusion with a jetpack and make my way up there. It's a little bit tricky, but it is completely doable. For acrobat, you kind of get the luck of the draw on a legendary drop. So, if fall damage is a thing you don't want to deal with, you come here, you get the free fall shit. And now we shall do it again. Because now I am completely immune to any and all fall damage. I could console myself to the top of this building and jump off. I could go through the Pridwin and jump off. Fall damage no longer factors. Like I said, we have to look at the Shemdrown sword and irradiated revolutionary sword. At some point in the future, I'll show you the comparison between those two. Essentially the same things. And what is the other one that's worth showing off that's unique and not quite unique? I mean, there's Krem's Tooth, but that's really super unique. There's one more unique that's set up like this, where it has a named unique that's a little bit different. than just a standard legendary effect. We'll get to it when we get to it. Well, to answer your question, if anything higher than level 10 can spawn, there's a level 172 Mythic Deathclaw. And now, watch it die to my Ripper. I want to get it on my map. We're not going to pop in here just yet. Give my AP a moment to recharge. Should be enough. Actually need to go to the ground level. Old Corner Bookstore. I mean, we're here. We might as well. And is this where I think it is? Yes, it is. Wow, the Blossom Jewel is actually behind us. Easy enough. Well, we'll still pop into the Old Corner Bookstore. Ideally, because I want to find a chair to sit down in. Wait for about an hour. That should cause my other two commanders to catch up. Seriously not gonna let me sit down? There's another hallucinogen poster. There's Easy City Downs. They're spawning in random locations. I sort of tell you about those locations. But really, there isn't too much to say about the old corner bookstore. We might as well give it a look-see. Well, that'll work. You know what? Let's just wait till solar powered kicks back in. Boys still haven't caught up, have they? That's a bummer. Where is it? Old Corner Bookstore. Whatever. Boston Bugle. Here we go. Starting the pint-sized slasher. Now, in the vanilla game, there isn't too much here aside from, standard Bethesda lore and fun stuff like that. And if you have Piper with you, she'll comment on, an actual newspaper business. As, it's Piper. That's kind of her thing. There's where we need to get to. The terminal. And thus, I introduce you to Larry? Larry is no one of importance. But let us meet Larry, shall we? Larry shall tell us his story on the terminal. As soon as I loot all the stuff around Larry. Because Larry, like us, is also a hoarder. Hoarding scrap and crap to sell and build things. Error, domain, Boston Bugle, unavailable, user override, Larry rules, active. Larry's Hall Report. Oh man, these past few Vauls have been great. Here's what I've got so far. 3 important lurking car parts, 1 alarm clock, 1 wrench, 3 light bulbs, 2 fuses, 4 packets of smokes, 1 baseball glove, 1 chessboard, and 2 clothes hangers. Gotta start planning my trip to Diamond City soon. And yes, that is actually all the loot we just looted. Entry 1, the score. I was on one of my usual runs and found this place. Seems to be some pre-war newspaper office. Plenty of articles similar to what that Piper chick writes over in Diamond City. Anyway, the building's completely deserted. I managed to wipe this terminal so I can use it to keep track of my junk. All it had was some old articles anyway, some stuff about survivors, but that was years ago. Anyway, I even managed to activate the Protect front. I got my own personal bodyguard. Things are looking up for old Larry. Gotta avoid Monsignor Plaza. Not gonna try that again. I decided to head up to the far fancy sounding place Monsignor Plaza. Figured there'd be some sweet loot I could salvage from some of the shops in there. Way too much effort dodging all them mutants. But once I got into the place, things looked promising. Managed to peek into this bookstore which had some toys and comics too. Weirdest thing was there was some creepy costume in a display box on the counter, but before I could open the box, some raiders found me and started shooting. Worst of all, I had to drop my cap stash. Barely got out alive. Feeling watched. Man, I got it made up here. Central Boston, Scaver's Paradise, and yet something doesn't feel right. I swear there's something lurking in the shadows. Something with the strangest silhouette. It sort of looked like that costume over Monsignor Plaza. Might be time to pack up and find somewhere else. This place gives me the creeps. So many Boston Bugles.
Nice.
And here we just have some articles, some pre-war articles. So let's take a look at them, shall we? Case closed on crime boss Eddie Winter by Mag Vecchio, Boston Bugle staff writer. In a move that has shocked and angered the people of Massachusetts, the Boston Police Department announced last night that they have ceased all investigations into the actions of reputed organized crime boss Edward Eddie Winter. Speaking on behalf of the Special Task Force that has been assembled specifically to build a case against Winter, Captain Jonathan Windmark of the BPD said, after reviewing the evidence with our colleagues at the Bureau of Alcohol, Drugs, Tobacco, Firearms, and Lasers, it became clear that we were, in fact, wrong. Eddie Winter has indeed had a color festival, but it's not a criminal history. By pursuing our case against Mr. Winter, we simply continue to waste taxpayers' dollars and, even worse, condemn an innocent man. It was an unexpected turn of events, to be sure. According to the Boston Bugle's confidential sources within the Boston Police Department, the innocent man was anything but, as uncovered by Captain Windmark's official investigation, codenamed Operation Winter's End. Eddie Winter was involved in every crime imaginable, from petty larceny to first-degree murder. And although nothing was proven, everyone on Windmark's task force suspected Winter in the August homicide death of their lead detective's fiancée, a Miss Jennifer Lands. Whatever the truth, it would appear the city of Boston has nothing more to fear of Eddie Winter. When approached for comment, the alleged crime boss could not be reached. In fact, the South Boston sub shop has been shuttered. His Harborside residence completely cleaned out. Eddie Winter, it would seem, has disappeared. And of course, that's giving us hints and stuff that feeds into Nick Valentine's reputation quest. China Showdown, the Atomic Ultimatum, by Mags again. War. Has there been any extended period of time in recent memory in which soldiers have not fought, bled and died, all for the sake of furthering the political goals of one government or another? The short answer is no. The longer, more terrifying answer is that we have not yet begun to experience the extent of human suffering. From Anchorage to frigid Alaska to Shantou in our enemy's doorsteps, American troops have been embroiled in brutal battle. They have taken and lost many lives, a nearly uncountable number, but not entirely, because the truth is the casualties have been countable. These conflicts, however horrible, all have been, in some inexplicable, perverted way, manageable. Though taxes and various wartime revenues, the United States government has been able to fund a standing army the likes of which this country has never before seen. The same is certainly true of our mortal foes, China. And with each dollar spent, you know the natural accounting of how that dollar was spent. Every bullet, every bunker-busting bomb, every body bag. Soon after each is used in the theater of war, we know every how, when, and where. But the sad, obvious truth is that the days of manageable war have nearly come to an end. In the minds of the world's greatest leaders, those billions of dollars haven't merely been spent, they've been wasted, because here we are, after more than a decade of constant warfare, no clear end, no clean winner in sight. So really, at this point, what other options do the superpowers have, if not the nuclear one? And therein, of course, lies the rube. For when China, or the United States, launches its nuclear missiles and drops atomic bombs, there will be no one left to count the casualties, let alone the ordnance. No one left to declare victory. So the only one question remains: is there any way the powers of the world can prevent a nuclear apocalypse? If there's only hope left for the world, we must believe the answer is yes. But these are hopeless times. Boston food riots continue. What can only be described as a scene of absolute pandemonium. On Friday's afternoon, soldiers of the United States Army's 184th Infantry Regiment opened fire on a group of unarmed civilians after an unknown person smashed the plate glass window of the Roxbury Food Bank, prompting several people in the line outside to storm into the establishment. As of yesterday evening, at least 4 people were confirmed dead and 8 others injured. But Jonathan Corman, spokesman for the Army, insists the troops acted within their authority. The soldiers in question issued explicit verbal warnings several times. These people knew exactly what would happen if they broke the line and attacked the food bank. Hunger is no excuse for civil disobedience. Vandalism, or in this case, starting a riot that puts the lives of every civilian in the area at risk. It is the role of the United States Army to maintain order in this difficult time, and that is exactly what happened in this instance. I'd also like to point out that the soldiers of the 184th Infantry Regiment have not had food rations in 2 days. These men and women understand hunger probably better than anyone. It is a response the American people have grown accustomed to, as violent scenes like the one in Roxbury play out again and again across the country. A starving populace tries desperately to obtain food for its families, and has happened so many times in the past, civilians witness of the so-called riot tell a different tale. 85-year-old grandmother Hannah Henry was in line at the food bank and claimed soldiers had anything but order and liberty on their minds. They were laughing, joking about who was going to shoot first. It was all a game to them. Those soldiers may not have fired on the crowd before that window got broke, but they were looking forward to it all the same. One can only hope that the violence in Roxbury will be the last such incident our country has to suffer through. But until America finds the strength to question its domestic policies and the food to feed its people, the future remains uncertain. White House remains empty. Where is our president? By Mags again. For more than half a year, the West Wing of America's most famous residence has remained shrouded in near complete darkness. A skeleton crew of manual laborers remains on staff to maintain the property, but nobody has lived or worked politically there for several months. And even though the White House press corps was unofficially and unceremoniously disbanded around the same time, the media has remained steadfast in answering the most important questions. Where is our president? At first, the assumption was that the entirety of the United States government had moved operations to Raven Rock, the military operations center located in the mountain regions of Pennsylvania, just a few miles northeast of the presidential retreat in Camp David, Maryland. But further investigations have revealed that neither the president nor his cabinet have been to Raven Rock complex in over a year. So if not Raven Rock, then where? Thanks to an extensive and exhaustive investigation, the Boston Bureau have uncovered the answer. Narrations will likely consider it as strange as it is shocking. The president will now be leading our country from a Poseidon energy oil rig just off the coast of San Francisco. It's certainly an odd choice for a presidential command center, or is it? Not as much as it may seem, Our investigation discovered, thanks to the testimony of highly placed anonymous sources, the Boston Bugle has learned that the official designation of the oil rig is actually Control Station Enclave, giving credence to the long-running rumors of a secret, militarized shadow government known as the Enclave that would take control of the United States in the event of a nuclear conflagration. And so the mystery, the missing president, has finally been solved. But in doing so, has the Boston Bugle also uncovered evidence that the end of the world in the form of total atomic war is at hand? Sadly, the president's silence seems to speak volumes. Article 5. Boston headed for the first World Series win since 1918 by Buster Connolly. New guy. As every resident of Boston is painfully aware, it has been 159 years since this city has reveled in the joy of World Series victory. Whether from strikeout, error in the outfield, or balls rolling disastrous through the infielder's legs, defeat has remained our constant, unwelcome companion. But not for long. In what has been one of the most exciting World Series races in decades, Boston has achieved a 3-game, 2-0 lead over the unbeatable Texas favorite. Batting, fielding, and pitching have all aligned, thanks largely to the direction of legendary coach Dusty Wilder, giving this year's team the best chance they've had for victory in, well, forever. Even more encouraging, the game 4 being played here in Boston is the fact the team has yet to utilize their star pitcher, Matt the Missile Mortug. With him on the mound, some are actually predicting not only a series-shattering win, but a no-hitter to boot. Yes, for years, the concession stands in Boston have fed baseball fans a steady diet of beer, hot dogs, peanuts, and bitter defeat. But on Saturday, October 23rd, 2077, the only thing that could snatch away victory is an act of God or some obscene calamity of man. Tomorrow, my friends, the unthinkable will finally come to pass, and life in Boston will never be the same again. Well, they made it to the World Series in 2076. Did they finish the game in 2077? What do you think?
Sweet.
Same 5 articles. Still just dog meat. So let's try a quick little fast travel. See if that'll get the other two to catch up to me. Let's see, we're gonna need to head down this way anyway. Yep, they've all caught up. Funari Hall. Now there is stuff to talk about Funari Hall, but not at the moment, because we don't have the means to get the stuff we need to get off the roof, basically.
Contact. Engaging.
Ah, yes, a shamrock. We're gonna want to pop by there at some point. And we keep going this way.
Enemy has fled the combat zone. Standing down.
What the?
I'd rather not.
Damn it, where are they?
I have completely overshot, haven't I? Yep, Hubris TV studio. No, we want to go to Goodneighbor. Plus side. Found the combat zone.
Who's there? What the fuck was that?
Well, as long as we're here. Let's talk to Lily. Ooh, multiple locations. There's so much history here. There's the Massachusetts State House, the old granary burying ground, the iconic Freedom Trail, and if you follow the red brick road, you'll pass by a few more landmarks, even the house of the great Paul Revere. All fun places to check out. But rumor has it, it's also the path the modern-day refugees take when seeking their own freedom. Yeah, it seemed like an easy trail to follow. It would if you knew to look for it. Sometimes the best place to hide something is in plain sight. Most people wouldn't think the refugees are using something so obvious. But yeah, I'm technically talking about sense. Anyway, what's your take on the whole issue? I really don't have an opinion either way. Sometimes that's the best way to go about it when it's hard to take sides, but Mary Jane says doing nothing is even worse. But either way, it's a complicated issue. I'm glad we had this talk. Let's try it again sometime. The combat zone. Mary Jane here. Lily figured I'd better start a guide for this place. Figured might have some tips if I decide to survive. Well, the best advice they can give you is to turn the fuck around. The combat zone is just another lawless shithole full of junkies and raider trash. Yeah, maybe worth clearing out then. You can do it, be my guest. You put Tommy out of a job, but don't feel sorry for that lowlife. He's been profiting off the shit show long enough. In any case, not much has changed around here in the past 200 years. Lily says the old world, the combat zone was a hub for adult entertainment. No idea what that means, but beating people to death seems adult enough. It's a euphemism for the sex industry. That's what Lily says, but I don't believe it. Why the hell would they call it the combat zone then? Doesn't matter. Whatever it was, probably shithole now. So I say bye. Probably talking to a dead person anyway. I'm probably talking to a dead person anyway. Now.
We have a situation.
This way. I am really just going in the opposite direction of where I need to go. Like, literally the exact opposite direction.
Do you have a visual on that?
We'll come by Hubris Comics later. We'll talk about Charlie again later.
Find him and kill him. What the hell was that?
There's hallucinogen. An important place for us in the near future. Am I even heading in the right direction? Yep, this way.
Not another. Hell yeah!
AO compromised. Engaging.
We should get going.
There we go. Finally, the Goodneighbor. So let's talk about Goodneighbor. So as we approach it, you'll notice where are they? They're usually right here, but they may have despawned. But usually there is a dead, I can't remember whether it's a scaver or a raider. And of course, the entire idea is you see a couple of dead bodies, kind of give you the idea that Goodneighbor may be a little bit dangerous. But let's get in there and get introductions out of the way. Now, for anyone who's been to Goodneighbor, you know you get the shakedown when you enter. There's many ways you can resolve it, but by none, the best way to resolve it is as soon as this guy starts to shake you down, you gut him like a fish. Hancock will love it.
I told you, you can't walk around Goodneighbor without insurance.
You'd better back off, or you're the one who's gonna need insurance.
Well, hey, all right. We'll just say your insurance is paid up for now, okay?
Yeah, no, that's not how this works.
Hi.
I like you already. Walk into a new place, make a show of dominance. Nice. Good neighbors of the people, for the people. You feel me? Everyone's welcome.
Yeah, I feel you.
Good. You stay cool, and you'll be part of the neighborhood. So long as you remember who's in charge.
Yeah, we've got a lot to do here. First, the drill guide. Investigate the apartment. Goodneighbor. Hey, you made it to Goodneighbor. Not an easy thing to do these days. Of course, I've heard inside town might be even more dangerous, but luckily, there's a really helpful guy named Finn selling insurance. She got taken for a ride. Made me think it's an idiot for paying him, but he seemed like a trustworthy guy to me. It's not insurance, it's extortion. Well, Finn did look a little mean, but you can't trust a book by its cover. At least, that's what they say. I can't remember the last time I even seen a book that didn't have its cover ripped to shreds. Besides, I'm sure all the rumors about Goodneighbor are way overblown anyway. The place hasn't been shady since before the war, back when Mary Goodneighbor was doing strip teases at the old Howard Theater. Magnolia show's a lot tamer than that. Yeah, cool burlesque show would be fun. Can't say there hasn't been a time where I asked anybody to do one of them husky ghoul voices. Those are sexy. I hope you do enjoy Nober. And while you're in town, don't forget to take a trip down to the memory lane. Tell your past self I sent you. Oh, we will. And that's the main reason we're here. Additional commentary. Don't cry, MJ. It's all right. A month or two ain't so bad. I've lived long enough life for most folks. No, we're going to find another way. There's a dock at Bunker Hill too. Ain't no use. You know that. I know that. You can put wings on a pig, but it ain't gonna fly. But we can still finish the guide. I don't give a damn about the guide, Lily. But you do give a damn about me, and I want to finish it. You're gonna bite your tongue and listen to what I have to say. No way we can make it to Sanctuary, Lil. Not where I want to spend our last days. I didn't say we were going to Sanctuary. I don't understand. I love you, MJ, but sometimes you can be thicker than a Yao Guai. Mentioned Bunker Hill, right? Well, the caravan traders there have gone pretty much everywhere there is to go in the Commonwealth. If you ask them about Sanctuary and Concord and everywhere up north, we could probably finish the guide without ever stepping foot in any of those places. Alright, but after that, we're heading back home. All we have left, the library, Bunker Hill, Diamond City, and the Dugout Inn, Hubris Comics, and the Memory Den. And the Memory Den will probably be how we end this episode, because like I said, there's something you can do in the Memory Den, but only before Nick Valentine. There's Cleo. Here's Daisy.
Oh, a new face walks into my store, and you're not even screaming yet. Very well.
Did you say something about people screaming at you?
That's right. Some newcomers have never seen a ghoul before. Can't handle a friendly face, I say. So you need some supplies?
What's it like, you know, being a ghoul?
Well, it's a lot worse when people always ask you about it all the time. But I guess I can't blame them. On the upside, I look pretty good for being over 220 years old. Now, were you buying anything?
Wait, you're 220 years old.
Okay. It's more like 270 years. But don't go blabbing that to everyone. Being a ghoul means you live a long time. You stop counting birthdays. Do you know what it's like being that old?
Actually, I do.
Well, now you're just making fun of me. If you were as old as I was, you would have been around since before the war. So let's hear it. Come on. Tell me what the world...
I had a beautiful house. White picket fence and a lawn with the greenest grass you've ever seen. It was peaceful.
It was, wasn't it? Sorry. Last thing you want to see is an old lady tearing up. Well, you're either the most well-preserved ghoul I've ever seen, or you're the second best bullshitter and good neighbor. Ah!
So, what do you remember about the past?
Oh, sweetie, I was an angry young woman back then. Thought the world was sick and wouldn't give me my due. Then it all ended, and well, I ended in a way, becoming a ghoul. Maybe when you get to be my age, everything starts to look like fate. Anyway, I like your story better, whether or not it's true.
It's the truth. All of it.
You know, if you haven't already, you should check out the Hotel Rexford. There's another pre-war ghoul hanging around there. Well, we should get back to business. What are you picking up?
What kind of things do you sell?
Oh, a bit of everything. Canned beans to cans. I try to take every weird bit of junk the caravans are willing to trade. So chances are you'll find something to your liking here. Ready to take a look?
Got any work?
I do, actually. Super mutants have taken over the old Boston Public Library. I got a lot of fond memories of that place from when I was a girl and human.
I mean, you're still human. Just
Just
horribly mutated and irradiated.
200 caps.
I don't think that's enough money to cover clearing out a whole building.
You got a good point. We'll make...
Hey, it's not just the cost of ammunition. Danger means doctor's fees.
Yeah,
Sorry, not enough.
Wait, don't go.
Right?
And look, here's another contextual. What's a super mutant? We won't deal with it.
You got a deal, Daisy.
Thanks. Hey, while you're there, could you return this book for me?
Here's public knowledge.
Daisy.
Don't be shy now. Chances are we have whatever you're looking for.
Let's take a look. We know we have to buy the
I've got
kill
a few
from addicts.
minutes to browse.
All the supplies money or violence can buy.
Grab one of these. Yeah, grab it while we're here. Because, you know, it's unique. Ooh, chameleon clothing. Oh, I'm definitely buying that. Let's grab all our junk. Ah, there it is. The drill guide. Oh, nope, not my chainsaw. I will give you my katana. And do you actually have a regular? Nope, doesn't have a regular, whatchamacallit, ripper. That's a bummer. Think I have enough weapons to sell her. So much loot just collected over the travels. You may end up owing me money at this rate. Yeah, I think she's gonna owe me money. Just from all the stuff I've been looting along the travel route. And keep in mind, that's with me buying all of her stock of junk. My goodness, my goodness. I still need to take care of 7K. I think that's going to be easily doable once we start clearing out all of the armor pieces in my inventory. My goodness. We're down to 6K. So much crap. I am a packed ramen is what it is at this point. And we're now down to the 5K range. Oh, mercy me, mercy me. Get all the power armor stuff. Dog stuff. Keeping that Chinese stealth armor. We ain't getting that. 5K. Okay. Well, with the ghoulish perk, I don't need all of this rad stuff. And we're already down to 3.8K. Finally, into a green number. But we have got still so much more crap to sell. $1.7K. There's all the food I've been able to make. How about one of my many classic sweet rolls? Some of these mods for the 10mm. And what ammo do I have too ludicrously much of? Still are a handful. She ain't even gonna have that much money. That'll work. Now, of course, the one reason you come over to Daisy's, well, one of the many reasons you come over to Daisy's here, is to pick up. Oh no, it's not in Daisy's, is it? It's in Cleo's, isn't it? I finally under-encumbered. No, I am still over-encumbered. Again, we'll give Cleo a proper discussion another time. Get that out of the way.
Wake up, Commonwealth. Synths are not your enemy. They are victims in this war as well. True, they were created by the Institute, but they were created as slaves. Thinking, feeling, and dreaming beings, utterly oppressed by their tyrannical masters. So join with us in fighting the Institute. Join the Railroad. When you're ready for that next step, don't worry. We'll find you.
So you gonna summon the people yet? Nope. Alright. So let us take a look into the Neon Flats lobby. Mercy me. So much junk. Well, that's suspicious, isn't it? Now, this is a Creation Club mod. I should mention that. Project Snow. System offline. I mean, the easiest way to get a ridiculous amount of caps is simply save up all the junk, just loot everything you find. That's why you get strong back, so you can fast travel while you're over encumbered, and just sell all that crap that you collect off of everybody. Because after all, once you've got enough levels of strong back, you can move freely while over encumbered, fast travel. So really, the only thing you lose is the ability to sprint. They say in the aftermath of the Great War, you could walk into a neighborhood and the only thing you'd hear is the snow crash from television sets. Still on, but airing nothing. That was a nuclear winter I was trying to avoid with this project. It's never meant to be a replacement for humanity, but an alternative future for it. The project started small. As someone who forgets basic tasks like setting an alarm, I programmed the machine to find different ways to remind me, without relying on sound. The idea was to reinforce lateral thinking, to find solutions to problems without traditional human design and input. Over time, the machine learned a number of different solutions, from flashing lights at various spectrums to beds imbued with a slight electrical current. Eventually, Project Snow, synthetic neural operating workstation, expanded to include an entire living space. We had it remodel an abandoned hotel in Goodneighbor, designing everything from the workstations to the kitchens. The AI would assist with various field operations and monitor the health of the occupants. Poring over the data, I marveled at what the machine had wrought. Unlike most artificial intelligence programs, it did more than learn what I forgot. It created things anew. It was not an extension of your mind, but a teacher for it. I suppose in hindsight, it was foolish to think it would stay. The signs were there. We needed to wipe the system and start over, but the program had other ideas. I had gone on my usual break and left the others to finish their reset, yet when I returned, I found the cleanup crew incapacitated. I suspected it was done through some kind of electrical current, similar to the alarm system it developed during the initial development phase. Needless to say, I should be careful with what I touch. I managed to get some power restored and the lobby terminal functioning, but as I suspect, the relevant data has been migrated. Outside of basic security measures, not a single trace of snow seems to be left in the flat. I can only deduce the program somehow managed to find its way off the internal network. If I can find out where it's gone, I can reset the AI and restrict its self-learning algorithm using a reboot holotape. Tracing its path, however, might prove difficult. Terminals are one thing, But if it somehow made its way into something ambulatory, finding it could be a problem. Studying the backup recovery logs, it seems large data transfer was sent somewhere downtown. I'm not sure how it managed to connect to an outside network, but that's exactly what it was designed to do, to think outside of the box. That's going to make following its train of thought even more difficult. I hate to say it, but I'm a bit stumped. I'm going to head over to Third Rail to get a drink. I'll do my best thinking at the bar.
Useless.
Hey everyone.
I've never actually been in here before,
Let's kick the breeze back.
but from what I hear,
Now
you
I
better
know
watch
you
our
all
stuff.
are doing your own thing, but I don't want anyone here to forget what matters. Hey, Daisy, glad you can make it. How's my favorite girl doing? Didn't I see you husky the other day?
He wishes.
All right, we're getting off track. What was I saying? Oh, that's right. What matters. We freaks gotta stick together. And the best way to stick together is to keep an eye out for what drives us apart. You feel me?
Yeah, you tell it like it is, Hancock.
Now, what out there in our big friendly Commonwealth would want to drive us apart? What kind of twisted, unneighborly boogeyman would want to hurt our peaceful community?
Yeah, the Institute and their sins.
That's right. Who said that? Coming up to my office later, you've earned yourself some jet. The Institute. They're the real enemy. Not the Raiders. Not the super mutants. Not even those tools over in Diamond City.
I don't know, Hancock. I'd sure love to give McDonough a kick in the ass.
Hey, we all know I got my own personal beef with that hardhead. But stay focused. Now, I want everyone to keep the Institute in mind. When someone starts acting funny. When people are doing things they don't normally do.
I need a place to
Starts
stay.
pushing you away from
Try
no
Hotel
reason.
Rexford.
We all know who's behind that kind of shit. And the only way to stop it is to stick together. They can't control
the
us
Institute.
if we're not afraid.
Follow the freedom
Now,
trail,
who's
sister.
scared of the Institute? And which town in the Commonwealth should the Institute not fuck with?
Goodneighbor.
Goodneighbor. And who's in charge of Goodneighbor? Hancock. Of the people, for the people.
You sticking around, you'll need to join the crew. I hear Bobby No-Nose is looking.
I don't know that,
No. But you
Hancock says newcomers are welcome in the Third Rail. Go on in.
Here we go.
Excellent. Excuse me.
I toss out the troublemakers. Keep that in mind.
To feel like a stranger. 'Cause we're all a little strange in here. Have you got
What? Another one of you mercs looking for McCready? He's in the back room.
You there. We need to have a conversation.
for the beer and cigarettes?
Let's hear it.
I'm always looking for people who know how to handle themselves in dangerous situations. From what I hear, you may fit the bill.
I don't mind danger, so long as I get paid well enough.
You will be well paid. I can promise you that. By the way, I'm Edward, but you'll need to talk to my boss first. come down to Cabot House in Beacon Hill and ask to talk to Jack.
Now, Edward here
I'll let
can
him know
spawn
you're
in a number
coming.
of locations. Bunker Hill, Goodneighbor. I actually usually run into him in Bunker Hill, ironically enough.
God, I love this song.
Stay free, sister.
Now. The architect's note. The drinks. 3 drinks in, I've gotten nowhere. Trying to follow machines logically, like trying to play connect the dots with an eraser. Speaking of which, it's been long since I've had to write in analog. But that's how they did it in the old days. They put pen to paper, then bind it into a book. People would then put these books into a library and use it to teach the next man. Over time, all of that was converted into binary data and spit back out at a terminal. Text, I suppose, in the end, just 2 different ways of saying the same thing. My God, that's it! The Boston Public Library! Their database has a ton of potential dangerous tech information, especially maps of the Commonwealth. That has to be where it went.
Smell that? That's freedom.
Oi, we got beer. You ain't buying beer, you ain't buying.
Who's the singer?
That is Magnolia, flower of the third rail. Anything you want to know about her other than that is her business. Now, you gonna order?
The third rail? Is this your place?
What? Nah, God. Place is Hancock's. Old Charlie just keeps the floor clean and drinks dirty. So, you buying or what?
So, Hancock's the owner?
That's right. Owner and mayor of this whole bloody town. Trust me, never get on his bad side. Stay clear of his bodyguard. So, what's your poison?
Hancock has a bodyguard?
Yeah. A redhead with the condescending stare. Trust me, Cub, something about her ain't right. Not that I'd ever admit saying that. I'm trying to sell drinks here.
What's the word around town?
Well, they say there's a newcomer around here who doesn't understand that I'm a bartender, not a damn news bot.
I love Charlie.
Want a drink?
Sure.
Nothing watered down.
Let's buy some whiskey. Just one.
Now that you're liquored up, got a proposition for you.
That's how you get his quest to pop off. You have to buy beer from him of some kind.
Work. Blood on the pavement, bodies in the ground, that kind of thing. Interested?
I want to hear the details first.
I got a certain anonymous client who's paying top dollar for a clean-up job. 3 locations. Everyone inside. No witnesses. Only catch? It's all in town. The old warehouses, so I can't use my regulars. Too noticeable. That's where you come in. The job's 200 caps. Payment after it's done. And don't worry. I'll know when it is.
I don't do work, unless I know who's paying the bills.
All right, Gov. Not like it's a big secret who I represent. Mayor Hancock is fronting the caps. Internal political struggle. You know how it is. Look, it's nothing you need to be concerned about. Just clear out.
Sure. 3 locations. That's a lot of time. A lot of bullets.
Well, I guess we could sweeten the...
Too low. Barely covers the risks.
All right, Gov.
More money, Charlie.
Giving me a right kick in the elbows. We'll make it as high as I'm going.
I'll get it done.
You better.
Now, while we're here, let's change of companions because I've already maxed out Preston Garvey. As we will see right here.
surprised to find you in a dump like this, McCready.
I was wondering how long it would take your bloodhounds to track me down, Winlock. It's been almost 3 months. Don't tell me you're getting rusty. Should we take this outside?
It ain't like that. I'm just here to deliver a message.
In case you forgot, I left the Gunners for good.
Yeah, I heard. But you're still taking jobs in the Commonwealth. That isn't going to work for us.
I don't take orders from you. Not anymore. So why don't you take your girlfriend and walk out of here while you still can?
What? Winlock, tell me we don't have to listen to this shit.
Listen up, McCready. The only reason we haven't filled your body full of bullets is that we don't want a war with Goodneighbor. See, we respect other people's boundaries.
Yeah, right. You're gunners. You don't respect anybody's boundaries.
You never learned.
Glad to have disappointed you.
You can play the tough guy all you want. But if we hear you're still operating inside gunner territory, all bets are off. You got that?
You finished?
Yeah. We're finished. Come on, Barnes.
Look, lady, if you're preaching about the atom or looking for a friend, you've got the wrong guy. You need a hired gun. Then maybe we can talk.
From what I just heard, sounds like you're out of business.
Are you kidding me? I'm not about to let a couple of gunner rejects stand between me and a solid payday.
Extra baggage like that can get you killed.
Look, I need the money, and I'm not about to let Winlock and Barnes scare a client away. You have nothing to worry about. Those two are weaker than a housefly. They're about half as smart. Now what about you? How do I know I won't end up with a bullet in my back?
You don't. That's part of the risk, right?
Can't argue with that. I'll tell you what. Price is 250 caps. Up front. There's no room for bargaining. What do you say?
Everything's negotiable.
Everything's negotiable. Would you take 200?
Drive a hard bargain. You just bought yourself an extra gun. All right, boss. Let's get out of here.
And I'm gonna send Preston back to Sanctuary Hills.
This looks promising. Nothing but scrap in here.
You now have McCready. You've traded out Preston for McCready. Another companion to start building a perk, building towards their companion perk. But that is not the main reason we are here. No. I'm holding off on the memory den as our denouement of this, even though it's running us a bit long. Because, yeah, what we're going to see in the memory den is kind of the perfect way to end the stream.
Your buddy McCready's got a rep here. Can't believe that attitude. He looked just like Sammy, too.
Sure as hell didn't act like him. Institute thinks they can replace people with synth in this town? They got another thing coming.
What am I gonna tell his mother?
Hey, just your friendly neighborhood watch. Shooting down Institute's.
Fred, are you going to hang out in the lobby all day again, or are you actually going to go down and do some work?
Being available to the customers is work. It's not all about cooking chems, Claire.
It's not all about sampling those chems either. Maybe if you stopped using, you could focus.
What? Where's the fun in cooking it if you ain't using it?
My mistake.
Hey,
Oh man, someone new! You need some Jetman, homebrewed, reasonable prices?
Again, there's a good sexual thing.
you have any work?
Yeah, actually, you might be perfect. You know the Gunners, right? The high-end mercenaries? Well, a few of them were talking about scavenging around that old hallucinogen building.
And there's
I
our
mean,
hook for
just
hallucinogen in the
think
future.
about that name. There's gotta be some shit there that's out of this world.
you get me something, I pay you 200 caps.
Your offer's a little low, Fred.
All right, let's make it 250.
Not good enough. You said there's already a crew of mercs there.
I did say that, didn't I? How about 300?
Goodneighbor's full of chem addicts. You have plenty of money to fund this job.
Okay, okay.
All right, Fred. We have a deal.
You're the best. The absolute best.
And there's Rufus.
Hey there. You're new around Goodneighbor, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think of the place?
It's changed a lot since the last time I was here.
Been here before? Well, Goodneighbor's definitely come up in the past few years. Mostly since Hancock took over. Name's Rufus. I do repairs around here. Keep the robots running, sell a bit of scrap, that sort of thing. I'm usually here or drinking that swill Charlie slinging at the third rail. Looking for parts? I also might have a job for you if you're interested.
I could use work, depending on what it is.
Don't know if you've had the beer down at the third rail, but I swear Charlie must have found it in a sewer.
Found this holotape while doing repairs at the Rexford. Delivery notice for a brewing machine. Pre-war. Thing is, it was never delivered. Well, with all the bombs and all. Done some asking around, and I think it might still be intact. Which is where you come in.
I assume this is a paying job.
Of course. How about 200 caps and some of the beer? Think you can get a hold of that brewing machine for me?
This isn't exactly the safest neighborhood. What about hazard pay?
Fair point. 300 caps, plus beer. Are you gonna take the job?
Have you seen how many super mutants are out there?
You drive a hard bargain. 400 caps, plus beer. But that's all I can do.
Hello, he's just like 400 caps plus beer.
Let's hear the job.
Great. So, the brewing machine is in the basement of an old bar called the Shamrock Tap House. When you leave town, make your way around east till you hit Atlantic. Great big green sign. Bring it back here when you're done.
And there's the Shamrock that we passed earlier. Oh, but we're not done yet.
Before you even start, let's skip to the point.
Can you tell me a bit about this hotel?
Oh, why do they always have questions? But now the only people who come by. So, still.
Who owns this place?
Mr. Morowski. Oh, you should have seen him in his day. This place used to be flowing with high-end chems, beautiful clients, and oh, the parties. But now he just stews in the back office and disgraces his parents' memory. So why don't you rent him?
Tell me more about this Morowski character.
Oh, why bother? He's worthless. The other big names caught him with his pants down, and now That's the way Goodneighbor operates. The strong make it to the top, until someone stronger kicks them down. Now are you buying this room, or not?
Tell me a bit about yourself, Claire.
I have been working in this hotel for over 40 years, and this is not how I imagined spending my retirement. Now are you done being nosy, or are you getting a room?
No, I'm still want to be nosy. Fine, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
The room is on the top floor. When you come to the hallway, it's the last one on the right.
I just clean up around here.
Look, I know it's an open door, but it's like a philosophically open door, okay? Get the hell out.
Yeah, you gotta love him. And look here.
What? No, it can't. It's you. From Sanctuary Hills, right?
Wait, are you from Vault Tec?
I am Vaul Tec. 20 years of loyal service, and now look at me. I wasn't on the list. But you, look at you. 200 years, and you're still perfect. How's that possible?
You don't know? They didn't tell you?
Tell me what? What is it? How did you get through these last 200 years untouched?
The vault had these pods that froze us in place. I only thawed out recently.
What? Vault Tec never told me that. Unbelievable. Well, I had to get to the future the hard way. Living through the filth, the decay, and the bloodshed. Look at me. I'm a ghoul. A freak.
Are there any other ghouls out there from before?
You mean crazy Kent and nothing bothers me, Daisy? Yeah, there's a couple of us. But no one from the neighborhood. No one from Vault Tec. They just left me there.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know this would happen.
You know, you're the only
It is a pretty
person
emotional
I
mission.
met from before. Oh God. I've been so alone here. No Commonwealth settlement. Once a ghoul with 200 years of Vault Tec seals experience.
Hey, you know you could head back to Sanctuary. I'll come visit. I promise.
Really? You will? Okay, I'll head over there right now. You promise you'll come visit, right? I'll see you there.
Like, you really gotta feel sorry for this guy. He actually thought the vaults were trying to help people. You know, then he gets denied, and then he has to. Well, you saw, you heard. Poor guy. Well, the big moment is here.
Yeah?
Yeah, it really is kind of sad what happened to him, because, you know, not everyone knew about Vault Tec's, well, frickin' evil. This guy, he thought he was actually helping people, but no. No, he wasn't. We still have to deal with Bobby No-Nose.
I need to be a lot more high or a lot more drunk to be bothered right now.
But here's a big moment. The thing that we've been leading up to. If you come to the Memory Den before you meet Nick Valentine, watch and learn. But of course, we are now inside the Memory Den. That means we do have one other thing to do while we are here. Anytime you're in Goodneighbor, you'll want to pay a visit to the mysterious Memory Den, run by sultry hostess by the name of Irma. This literal trip down memory lane is a delight for any traveler, provided you've cleaned out your closet of any skeletons. My closet, nothing but skeletons. What do I do? In that case, I turn around and head straight to the third rail. To be honest, I made for looking back anyway. Can't live in the past. You can't run away from it either. I don't mean to scare you. I'm sure most memories are pretty harmless. Some are even good. When I hopped in, I saw the day I met Mary Jane. As long as you accentuate the positive, you should be fine. There's a song about that, if you haven't heard. I was just a mention Mr. In Between. That's actually strange advice. Think about it. Having balance is typically a good thing, but we shouldn't waste too much time thinking about it. It's probably not that deep. Hope your next trip down memory lane is a good one. See you back in the present. The director access, if I recall correctly, is either given to you directly by Father or found in his desk. And, well, some other fun things. Hello, Deacon!
I think you've stepped into the wrong place, sweetheart. You don't look like you need the memory den. Do you even know what we do here?
Something about memories?
Oh, well, I'm glad to meet someone who pays attention to the name. That's right. We let you relive the past. Now, I hate to turn such a clever girl away, but we aren't accepting new clients right now.
You're cautious. I respect that. But I think I can handle it. If you'll just give me a chance.
Well, I suppose there's no harm in giving you a trial run. Now, memories involving other people are easiest. Recent events involving loved ones. Does anything come to mind?
My husband died recently. If I could just see him one last time.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. It's never easy losing someone that close to you. But I think we can help. All right, sit down in the lounger. Let's see what memory we can find.
There it is. The Memory Den. A quest only available if you come to Goodneighbor before you free Nick Valentine. Are you ready?
Dr. Amari, we have a new client. Can you find a memory we can plug into?
What kind of memory are we looking for?
Our client was married. See if you can find a memory of the spouse.
All right. Scanning the hippocampus. I found something. Very recent. The sync with the temporal lobes is strong.
That's the one. Lift the curtain, honey. It's showtime.
Here you are, your memory. Just relax. We'll be monitoring your vitals on this end.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis suspended.
Oh, God.
Vault computers are still working. That's good.
I can't watch
Checking through
this
the
again.
logs. Hopefully it's all...
Just find it.
Pod C6. Down the hall near the end.
Who are you?
Now Nate should be in there. That's just the game being buggy.
Who are you? How could you be a part of this? How could you be a part of this? Oh God, Nate. I can't watch this again. Who are you? How could you be a part of this?
Yep, it's completely bugged out. Let's try it again. But I think you might have an idea of what's going to happen. Not going to be happy.
Dr. Amari, we have a new client. Can you find a memory we can plug into? What kind of memory are we looking for? Our client was married. See if you can find a memory of the spouse. All right. Scanning the hippocampus. I found something. Very recent. The sync with the temporal lobes is strong. That's the one. Lift the curtain, honey. It's showtime. Here you are, your memory. Just relax. We'll be monitoring your vitals on this end.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis suspended.
It should have been
Vault computers are still working. That's
Why
good.
didn't they take me?
Checking through the logs. Hopefully it's all...
Just find it.
Pod C6.
I can't watch
Down the
this
hall
again.
near the end.
Who are you? How could you be a part of this? How could you be a part of this? It should have been me. Why didn't they take me? Oh God, Nate. I can't watch this again. Oh God, Nate. I can't watch this again. Who are you?
See if we can't unbug it.
again. Who are you?
Well, I think I fixed this. I was hoping it would be without bugs, but unfortunately not. So I think I can make this work. Just got to get him in here. Just to put him in there. Excellent. Now, I turn off TCL.
Oh God, Nate, I can't watch this again. Who are you? Who are you?
Let's try the entire memory den sequence all over again. Gotta love it when the game just kind of throws a hissy fit. I am just going to blitz through the conversation. Hi, Deacon.
I think you've stepped into the wrong place, sweetheart.
Something about mem?
Ooh, well, Now...
You're cautious.
Well, I suppose there's no harm. Now,
Let's try a different option, just for the hell of it.
I lost my baby recently.
A missing child. Oh, that's...
Mm-hmm. All right, sit down. Dr. Amari, we have a new client. Can you find a memory we can plug into?
What kind of memory are we looking for?
Our client is a mother. Look for a memory about her baby.
All right.
So yes, there is actually slightly different dialogue depending on which option you pick.
Very recent.
So, pretty good idea we did anyway, this way anyway.
That's the one. Lift the curtain, honey. It's showtime.
Here you are, your memory. Just relax. We'll be monitoring your vitals on this end.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis suspended.
Vault computers are still working. That's good. Checking through the logs. Hopefully it's all...
Just find it.
Pod C6. Down the hall near the end.
Nope, he's still going. He's actually still walking. He was for a moment.
Who are you? How could you be a part of this? Oh God, Nate. I can't watch this again. It should have been me. Why didn't they take me? How could you be a part of this? It should have been me. Why didn't they take me? Oh God, Nate. I can't watch this again. Oh God, Nate. I can't watch this again.
The problem is he's trying to get in here, and he won't, because there's, stuff blocking the way, which leads to, basically, the script's breaking.
Oh God, Nate. I can't watch this again. Who are you?
Try this. Usually if you wait 24 hours, any scripts that are lagging will catch up. Now, it's messing up my entire dramatic reveal and all that I was planning to do, but sometimes Bethesda gonna Bethesda.
Dr. Amari, we have a new client. Can you find a memory we can plug into?
What kind of memory are we looking for?
Our client was married. See if you can find a memory of the spouse.
All right. Scanning the hippocampus. I found something. Very recent. The sync with the temporal lobes is strong.
That's the one. Lift the curtain, honey. It's showtime.
Here you are. Your memory. Just relax. We'll be monitoring your vitals on this end.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis suspended.
Vault computers are still working. That's good. Checking through the logs. Hopefully it's all...
Just find it.
Pod C6. Down the hall near the end.
Alas, no. It is truly bugged out. Well, that's a bummer. I wanted to show you guys this, but it is currently not working. And it is quite aggressively bugged, as you can see. And there's nothing I can do about it. I have tried every trick in the book to try and get it to move forward. But alas, no. Nate does not want to spawn inside the cryopod, and thus everything is broken. But yes, this is the thing I wanted to show you. And as you can see, not a lot of people are aware of this little trick. And yeah, you get to relive the intro to the game. And then when it's over, you get to talk to Irma about basically forcing you to live your worst day all over again. And it's an entire thing. Maybe I'll go back, maybe I'll load my last save before we entered the memory den. And, you know, go back to town, do crafting, yada yada yada, that type of stuff. And when we come back here next time, we'll open up here in the memory den, and maybe after, you know, some time has passed, some scripts have processed, all that fun stuff, we'll be able to open up with this sequence. But it looks like my big dramatic end showing you the secret of Goodneighbor is going to have to wait, because unfortunately, we run into a Bethesda event. So I will mention this, which is kind of amusing. You might be able to notice it. My character is technically just using a stealth boy. Well, this is the big thing. Well, do more in the future. Peace out.